Here's a little look at what I'm doing with my inventory, just optimizing everything. So I'm basically what I've done is I've gone through and on all my legs, I'm only keeping what I really need to use or what I do use. I'm keeping all my quad PCs, but all of the cards that I'd never use, I'm just keeping one quad in my inventory. Like all the old shit, personalized beer mugs and all that bullshit. I'm keeping a couple of the higher, of the newer, higher powered, newer cards, or like Thunder Cocktails here, if I want a high attack deck with, Fever Dreams or something. But like one of each quad that I have. And then what I'm doing is I'm actually buying back every single card in my archive that was not upgraded, and I'm upgrading them all. Like you can see, I don't have any that are not upgraded in here. Well, I've got some, but only the ones where I have 12 quads of it. So you can see I have 11 Pawtuckets quadded here. I've got one in my inventory. So there's no need to go any higher than 12 on anything. Same thing with Peters. I've got a bunch of those not upgraded, but literally every other card is upgraded. Nah, fucking epics. Fuck those. Who cares about those? But for the legs. So if I ever do want to build a specialized deck or something, easy breezy, I just come in here and I buy back a quad or something if I need it for 1200, and once I've got everything, quadded up that I need and optimized, then it's just easy to go back and forth between the archive and the inventory. And I've done that. I've done that to literally every single thing, like I'm using my doctors. Obviously, I have all those in here, but I've got one beta house, one betting school quad, one alpha quad. I'm not using those. I kept the Brown Universities because they're the newest ones, so I may use them, somehow, some way. But, one quad of that bitch, one quad of debater, I kept a decent amount of Italian teachers because they're newer, decent amount of lawsuit letters, they're newer. The Gedgies have their usage. This is the newest one too. But, one of Frond, one of this, one of that, I'm not using nerd science, one of those. And then if you go in here, if you go to the archive again, just like the other ones, everything is upgraded and quadded. And what I was doing to do that was just buying it back, upgrading them all. It took a shit ton of gigawatts. But at the same token, I've been recycling tons of quads to be able to get there. All the quads that I'm not using that I had in my inventory taking up slots that were just taking up dead space. But you can see here, even with the Antique Mansion, I've got 8 quads, one fused and one not fused, and as I'll go through, I'll continue to optimize that till I have 11 Antique Mansions and only one in my inventory. You'll see a bunch of PCs in here too. Every single PC that I have in here is not quadded. All my quads I've just kept in my inventory. But if it's not quadded, I'm not going to use it. Like this one right here, I could buy this back and upgrade it because I've probably got it recently since I started doing this. Same thing with those Boppos. I could do that. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. The only two that I haven't done yet are Animal and Toy. I've optimized every single BGE up until Animal. I just finished with Musical. So if you look at Musical, you'll see everything is upgraded. I haven't started with the with the characters yet, but most of my characters I have at 12 in the inventory, and I'm just going to leave those in the inventory for melees and shit like that. But every other thing is optimized. Now, if you go back and you go to music, only the ones that I'm using, and then maybe some of the newest ones in case I want to try to build a new gen deck. But like, I'm using OMM and Hip Hop Bob still, so like I've got everything that I need for that. I've got I'm using my 3 is more than 4. There's 2 there. I'm using a couple mythics, and then I'm using where's it at? The Robot Devil Band. I'm using the Roger Epstein musics. I have enough to make a 997 with it, and that's what I usually run, so I'm good to go. Another example, art. So if I do art, if you look, I've been running ceramics jeans. So I got my 3 Jamaican painters in there. I've got, these in case I need them. If I'm making like a Futurama art deck. I kept 10 of these in here if I want to make a Martian calendar deck. I got those 2 new gens in there. But other than that, like, I'm not making any old art decks. Like, I'm going to use Ceramics Gene moving forward if I'm going to make a good art deck. So I've got, one of each of these quadded just to know what I've got in my archive. And then if I need to pull them, then I go to archive. I filter it out by art. And everything is upgraded. Unless I have 11 in my archive and 1 quad in my main. But, like I've got these Jamaican guys in here, but there's a dual and a fused. So once I get 1 more fused, I'll buy those back, I'll quad it up, and then I'm good to go. Just an easy way to keep everything super streamlined. I think I have 2,300 slots in my inventory. I was like right on the verge, like 2280 or 2250. Just recycled everything, and now I don't have to worry about fucking running out of spots when I buy out a box or something, and I'll just keep it optimized. It's time consuming, but at the same token, it's going to be great once it's all done, and it'll be easy to keep up with. And a lot of the legs that you're getting from stones or from whatever are all super common, and those are the ones that I already have 11, 12 quads of, and then I just recycle them, and I don't have to worry about upgrading them or, optimizing them, because they'll just sit there in the inventory. But if you take a look at Toy, for example, I've gone through and I've recycled everything that I don't want in here. I could probably get rid of one of those fucking transmitters. I'm not going to use it. I've only got 1 Rupert. I've only got 1 propane, 1 fantasy figurines that I'm never going to use. Keeping these Dia Powers because I'm using them right now in the Swole. A couple chips if I want to go high attack. 1 Boppo because there's no need to have more than 1 Boppo. And then what I'll do is I'll go through my archive. I'll go to this Toy, and I'm literally going to buy all of these ones that aren't upgraded back or that could be fused and quadded, and then I'll buy them back, spend the gigawatts, optimize them, fuse them, quad them, and then I'll just sell them back if I'm not going to use them to keep this optimized. And then it's super easy if I ever need to tap on it and go back. So, for example, those propanes, I've got 1 in my inventory. I've got 5 quads here in my recycled, and then I have 25 of those. So that's 6. So I need 6 more. So I've got 25 here. I'll buy back 24 of those propanes. I'll upgrade them. I'll fuse them. I'll quad them. and then I'm just going to sell them right back to my thing, and then I'll have 11 here, and then moving forward, I'm never going to have to worry about, fusing or upgrading again, because I'll have 11 quads in here, one in my inventory. That's 12. I'm never going to use 12 propanes anyway, but if I did for some reason, that's that. Just like how you keep 12 characters in your inventory plus your mythic so that you can make a 13-12 or a 13-13 melee deck. I'm doing the same thing with all of my items, but I'm just storing them in my archive because there's no reason for them to take up slots anymore in your inventory. Easy way for the whales out there to keep their shit down without having to, keep a bunch of shit and just have as long as you don't give a fuck about I've got 2,500 legs, whatever, like who cares? Like, what are you really using? What's effective? And how can you not have to give Kong fucking money to buy fucking inventory slots, which is a waste of your money, now that they have this buyback feature. So that's all I got. That's my tutorial on how I'm cleaning everything up and really optimizing and utilizing this buyback feature to keep everything nice and tight. And yeah, that's all I got. Peace out, bitches.